All right, hi guys. So this video is going to be about solving equations. So first I want to talk about what are like terms. So like terms are, the items in your equation that match. So we're either going to be looking for our plain numbers or our terms with variables. So plain numbers would be our constants. Oops. So our constants, for example, would be like a 4 and a -3. So if you had those, any constants in an equation, you can go ahead and add those or subtract them or whatever, combine them. Next we would have our variable terms. So if you have, like, for example, 4x and 12x in an equation, you could go ahead and combine those because they both have an x in them and it's both just 1x. All right, so we're gonna now use that idea to work through some of these examples. So our first example, 4x minus 10 is equal to 10. We'll first identify our like terms. We have two constants, -10 and 10. So in order to get them on the same side, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. So I'm adding 10 because this minus sign here tells me, well, to do the opposite or to get rid of it, move it to the other side, I need to add. So I'm left with 4x is equal to 20. Now I can divide both sides by 4 because this 4x here really tells me 4 times x. There's a little invisible multiplication sign in there. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm left with x is equal to 5. All right, the next example, we have -2b is equal to 4b plus 12. So my like terms in this case, we have 4b and -2b. So I'm going to move this 4b to the other side so I can combine my like terms. So I'm going to subtract 4b. And I'm left with a -6b on this side and 12 over here. So again, there's a little invisible multiplication in between that -6 and b. So I'm going to divide by -6 to reverse it. Remember, our sign always comes with it, so that's why I'm grabbing or using a -6. All right, so I'm left with b is equal to -2. All right, a couple more examples. So here we have z plus 17 is equal to 1/2 z minus 2. In this case, I have a couple different pairs of like terms. So first I have this 17 and -2. Those are both constants. And then next I have a 1/2 z and 1z. So those are my like terms. I need to get them on the same sides. So first let's subtract 1/2 z from both sides. All right, so you can imagine there's a 1 in front of that z up top. So 1z minus 1/2 z leaves me with a positive 1/2 z plus 17 is equal to -2. So now I'm going to subtract 17 from both sides. And I'm left here with -19. So let's move this over here. All right, so now to reverse a 1/2 or to get rid of that 1/2, I can actually multiply by 2 on both sides. So this becomes z is equal to -38. All right, one more example here. We have -14a minus 7 is equal to 21. My like terms are that -7 and 21. So to reverse a -7, I need to add 7 to both sides. So I'm left with -14a is equal to 28. Now again, there's a little invisible multiplication sign there. So divide by -14 on both sides. And I'm left with a is equal to -2. All right, a couple reminders. So make sure you combine your like terms. So move the constants to one side and your variables to the other. That's super important to make sure you're combining the right things. Next, what you do to one side, you have to also do to the other side. So to keep that equality, if you are using a scale, if you add more to one side, you have to also add more to the other side. So it's that sort of idea. You have to stay consistent. And last, make sure you are adding and subtracting or multiplying and dividing correctly. So to get rid of something or to move it to the other side, you want to use the opposite operation. So add and subtract, multiply and divide. Make sure you are paying attention to that and paying attention to your signs, so those negatives in there. All right, so hopefully this helped a bit. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out and let me know.